So tonight I'm going to read a poem. I buried my mother this past Thanksgiving, and right next to my father. So I have a poem that celebrates the life of my father and his brothers as part of the World War II experience. And I read it this summer at the Canandaigua Festival, and the name of the poem is "Why Did It Take So Long to Say I Love You, Dad?" It was back then, a little after Howdy Doody and Buffalo Bob, names from another era, and I'd see them and I paused now. Maybe they were fun back then. Sometimes we're too hard with our past, like I was with you, and now I want to see things differently. Even Clarabelle, who was silent until the end, but then knew it would mean something when he said, "Goodbye, kids," in the last show, and then became Captain Kangaroo for another generation. It was for him and for you, Dad, not all in vain. Howdy and Bob rode the morning bus, grinning from lunch boxes propped up on the ragged blue seats, with the other faces under the lid, squinting and unsuspecting, from the thermos with the fragile glass liner next to the egg salad sandwich on slightly soggy slices of not-so-wondrous Wonder Bread, a now pompous and indignant bruised apple, and a slightly cracked yet complacent pair of Oreos, which by the 1950s had fought with the Aussies and fake Newtons on Iwo Jima, while other Oreos lucked out, working with the Hershey bar and things called stockings to woo French women on the Champs-Élysées. Uncle Ed met Aunt Rosa in England, and Uncle Al met Maria in Italy, and as far as I've been told, a Yank never stooped to conquer. My Oreos, they were for lunch. You met Mom stateside while caring for Grandma Lillian, not far from the old German neighborhood, and had your hand in the development of the new curved windshields for the flying boxcars. You danced at the Dellwood Ballroom. You told me she was lovely. You were dapper. I saw the picture on your dresser. They had 50 caliber machine guns on the roofs at Curtis Wright when you went to work on Monday, the day after Pearl Harbor. I held the lunchbox lid tightly, covering the flank for Howdy and Bob, because no matter how hard I tried, the latch just didn't work. The parts were somewhere between Paris and Luxembourg, and I had to hold our position. The second graders were gaining on us. Their bus was just around the bend. I didn't have extra rations, so I told the outraged Apple in no uncertain terms that it was either me or them, and they shut the hell up, and the same went for the rest on the way to the first grade at St. Benedict's. The Oreos had been in tight spots before. This was no different. They were ready. But it was more towards the time of the strange visitor from another planet who took off his clothes in glass phone booths, and Lois never figured it out. But at least they played Stravinsky. We lost Glenn Miller in the war, and this new stuff, rock and roll, was here to stay. Times change. We at least had Rip Torn and the Chocolate Soldier, Zane Grey Theater and David Niven, and Bernstein and Rubinstein and Horowitz, and Mary Martin and Peter Pan and pirate ships. And then there was you, Dad. You were there with the father's voice of truth and strength, of kindness and courage, of when things were wrong and when they were right. You knew about law and you knew how to fight. You were there, and you sat and you read stories at night by a book by the side of my bed. You were there to show me this path through the sacred streets of Jerusalem, and walk with those who experienced what it meant to have faith and hope, and the unseen touch of his garment, and the mere utterance of his words of compassion and love, and to see also against the Pharisees and money changers that he did not turn the other cheek when you were there, and you sat and you read stories at night from a book by the side of my bed.